Hey Mark, this is Christian. Want to go over with your 4R70W with you. Let's go ahead and get started. Get this taken off. Get your tail housing off. That way we can get the band out of the way. Or not the band, but the mount. Get everything out of the way. Move this around a little easier. Alrighty. There's your tail housing along with the mount. Set that to the side. These are one of the last things we put back on. I'm going to go and build it. This is your gasket for the tail housing. This come in your kit. You hear me say kit a lot, just like I tell everybody. It seems like most everything comes in your kit. So that comes in your kit also that we'll be ordering. An 8mm. Get this off. These speed sensors are your input and output speed sensor. Most of the time they're fine. We'll take a look here. Yeah, it's got a lot of metal on it. Clean that up and then change this seal right there so it don't leak. Hopefully you can see that. It might be a little hard because the seal's black and the sensor itself is kind of black. You can probably see better on this one a little bit. Just clean it up. See, there's a seal right there, like a little O-ring. That'll get replaced. That comes in your kit. Make sure you can hear me. Ready? Let's get this off and out of the way. Tell you what, I'm about done with this rain. I think we're supposed to get more next week or something. I hear. Hard to get out and do anything. It's a nice day today. This is your pump. I'm just taking the bolts out for now. We'll flip it over, get the pan off, valve body off, all that. Look at it. Just like to get as much out of the way as I can before I get inside of it, because these are, well, most transmissions are heavy anyway. So you try to get everything out of the way as much as you can. Hopefully you can see. Keep looking back just to make sure you can see me. See your transmission mostly. Alrighty. Okay. Just look at this pan. It's burnt. Also, you got a lot of metal in here. That's all that sparkly stuff. You can see there. It's all over the magnet. Hopefully that's from your torque converter, but we'll find out once we get going through it. Most of the time it is, but you never know until you get it apart. This is your gasket. This also comes in the kit too, so we'll be replacing it. Just throw it away. And we'll put all your bolts and stuff that we just got out of here, where we don't lose them or nothing. All right, this is your filter. This also gets replaced. It's not in your kit, of course, it's separate, but we'll get you a new filter, put that on there. It's got a lot of metal inside of it. A lot of metal. I don't know if you can see up in there, but it's got a lot of metal on the bottom here. So we'll let that drain over here for a little bit. All right, this is your valve body. This is what I was telling you. If you read everything, this is your internal wiring harness. What this is. This black piece, black plastic piece is your internal wiring harness. Okay, it's plastic. They're prone to getting breaking, cracking, stuff like that. So it's good to get in the habit of just replacing them. And I've tried using them over before when they first come out with these in the past, many years ago. That tells you how old I am. And they just don't work. It's got a lot of metal inside of it. It's really open. And so it gets a lot of metal inside there. So it's best just to go ahead and get another one. They're not that expensive, so you might as well just do it now while you're there. Set that to the side. All right, let's get your valve body off. All these are 8 millimeters. So get my 8 millimeter. Your solenoids are most of the time just fine in these. They're closed to where they don't really get a lot of metal inside of them. But if I see a lot of metal inside one of them, then and you can't clean it up, then it's best just to go ahead and replace it. That metal really gets down deep into small things like that. It's really hard to get out, but most of the time, these things are just fine. I'm looking at them as I put these bolts out here. So far, they're looking fine. Seems like the factory ones always are better than aftermarket ones anyway. And factory ones are hard to find. They don't really make these anymore. They do make aftermarket parts for them. Kit, things like that. Drain a little bit. This is a filter that's on top of your valve body. That's to help clean out the converter and the valve body. It's in between the valve body and the converter bleed area. That comes in your kit. You'll get a new one of them. This valve body's got gaskets on it. I'll go through it, clean up everything, update your valve body with the current updates that's available in the kit, and replace all the gaskets. Everything in that gets replaced. So, get my scribe. Find it. Always losing that thing. One of them. Alrighty. This is your 2-3 clutch or accumulators. These are usually just fine. It's a molded piston. I like the molded pistons. It seems like they last a lot longer. Hardly ever have any problems out of them. Springs just fine. Righty. Get this other accumulator out if we can. Sometimes this is hard to get out. Try not to cover too much for you, but sometimes you gotta get in here with these things. All right, that's the stamp ring and the cover to the accumulator. It's a 3/4 accumulator. This comes in your kit. This will get replaced. We'll set that to the side. Your springs and your piston are fine. They hardly ever break. It's a good design. Yeah, let's get your band servos out here and check them out. Most of the time these are fine, but you got to take them out anyway to get everything else out of the case. So need to go ahead and check them while we're here. Alrighty. These are tough. Alright, that's your snap ring. That comes with a new one in the kit. So it'll get replaced. We'll set it to the side for now. This servo is just fine. It's got a lot of metal in it, as to be expected. A lot of fluid passes by here. This is your overdrive band servo. This is what applies the band. I'll show you the band once we get inside there. And it's fine. It's always fine. There we go. Get this other reverse servo out. Try to. Sometimes it's tough too. There we go. Got it started. Okay. This is a bigger servo. It applies in the reverse and low gear. This is your band that we'll look at once we get to the bottom. Most of the time the bands are bad. That's why I always put those down when I'm giving somebody kind of an idea what they want to spend or what they're going to spend. A lot of metal in it. Again, a lot of fluid passes through there, so that's why there's a lot of metal. Clean it up real good and put it all back together. Molded pistons, they're always fine. Also, what you want to do, since I'm seeing so much metal here, you want to get a can of, it's called Cooler Clean. You don't have to go to a transmission place to get it. They have it at AutoZone, Advanced. I think they have it at O'Reilly's also. It's called Cooler Clean with a K. And you clean out your cooler lines, spray it through your cooler lines. All you need is 1 or 2 cans. If you do 2, then blow out the top line with 1 and the bottom line with the other. Just clean it out real good, and then blow it out with like air hose. Get this pump out. This pump's usually pretty easy to get out because there's a spring or a weight plate behind it, so you don't really need to use a tool on it. Just kind of give it a tap, and most of the time it comes right on out. I think you could see me or see the pump. Actually, what holds it in there, this tight, is because of the O-ring and the gasket that I'll show you. Get it out. It's coming. It's just, I want to be slow sometimes. My bench is always moving. There we go. All right. This is your gasket here. Pump gasket. That comes in the kit. That'll get replaced. Set this to the side now. Let's get your pump apart first, and we'll check everything else out. This bench is always wobbly. It's got the rollers on it, which makes it nice and handy, but it's not like my other one. My other one's real stable. Alrighty. Most of the time these are fine. Let's give it a check here. Sorry, it's hot today. If I'm sniffing too much, it's my allergies. That's fine. Looks great. Most of the time, like I said, these are fine. Here's your gears. Pump gears, they're always fine. I think people worry about them because they've got aluminum body on them, but actually aluminum seems like it works a little better. This is a pump bushing right there. That'll get replaced. The seal gets replaced. The O-ring gets replaced. This piston for your second gear gets replaced. All that comes in your kit, which is a good thing. Like I said, you'll hear me say kit a lot because most everything comes in your kit. This is your second gear. Got a big old wave plate there. Wave plate, wave spring. People call it all kinds of things. I just call them wave plates. And what it does is when it shifts into second gear, it makes it a little bit smoother and softer. All right, here's your clutches. The clutches here are burnt black. They're supposed to look like a real bright red color. Some cases they look like a real bright green color. Depends on which company is making the clutches at the time, whether it's Ray Bestos or somebody else. And these spots that you see right here, they're all hot spots. That's on the steels. Those will need to get replaced, and those will be coming in your kit. So set that over to the side. Let's go ahead and get this out. Here's a clip that will go back in there. Here is the overdrive band I was telling you about. I was expecting it to be bad. They're always bad. And it is. You can see there's a little bit of red tint left onto it in the center part. Not much. It's still cracking. I don't know if that you can see it there, but all the rest of the band is burnt black. So we'll get you another band. This is your reverse drum. Two things come on in reverse, just like on all transmissions. It's always either two clutch sets or a band and a clutch. In this case, it's a band that comes on in reverse and a clutch set. So let's get it out, check them out. This is your one-way sprag, and that sound that it's making, that's what it's supposed to make. Usually when these go bad, they'll either lock up or just freewheel both ways. This is exactly what it's supposed to sound like. It's a ratcheting style, what they call it is a ratcheting style sprag. Alrighty. Same with these clutches and steels. They're burnt. That's your reverse. If you look down in here, there's a piston right there, aluminum piston. I'll get this out when I go to build it. There's O-rings and lip seals on drums that will get replaced that come in your kit. Also the bearings, or not the bearings, I'm sorry, the bushings. That there. This is your bearings, and they're always usually fine. Sometimes you'll see them tore up in transmissions and stuff, but most of the time they're fine. Seems like they last forever. Here's some sealing rings here that'll get replaced. Here's your overdrive, or not your overdrive, but forward drum. You can see it is burnt pretty good right there. So while we're checking the clutch out, we're going to check your drum out too. See if it needs to be replaced. Most of the time, no. We'll see this, just like I was telling you, most of your packs has got a wave plate. If you could see that, this one's not as wavy as the other one. Hopefully you can see that. Now your steels and clutches in this one's far worse. Just thinking that you probably didn't have forward gears. Just a guess, because looking at the steels and stuff, how burnt they are and how much clearance was in that pack. There's probably maybe a 1/4 inch clearance. It don't look like it was, maybe you had a delay or slipping, something like that. What we're looking on this drum here is these welds inside and out. Okay, sometimes when they get this burnt, or actually more burnt than this, I've seen them worse than this, is that those welds will pop off. And I'm not seeing anything. Everything looks good. I'm looking on the inside and outside of the drum. This piston will need to, it comes with lip seals in your kit. We'll get out, change them, clean up the drum real good, get it all new looking, put it all back together. These here are usually good. Sure. Mid shaft is what that's called. It's a big old hunk of steel. Hardly ever, never goes out. This is your hub, forward drum hub, and it is good. Bearings good. Most of the time, like I said, this section is usually pretty good. Same way with your, this is an updated drum, I could see. That was put in by Ford. It wasn't put in by anybody else. But that's the rivet style drum. That's what they went to later on. And that's good. Your gears are good. Your output gear is good. Alrighty, we'll get the, let's try to get, hopefully you can see all this. Then the next thing is your center support. You need to get it out. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain, but hopefully not today. So get the snap ring in here. Right, just grab hold, just start kind of jiggling it out as best you can. You're not going to hurt it or anything. And that's what holds in the center support. It's just a small snap ring that keeps it in place. Set that to the side. Alrighty, ready to hammer to tap it out, because there's a spring that I'll show you. Spring or a U shape that fits in along of that, and I'll show you what it does as soon as I get this out. So that's what keeps it in there stable and everything. Sorry for all the beating. Can't be a mechanic without making a little bit of noise, unfortunately. There we go. That should be it. And like I said, there's that U-shaped spring. What it does is it not only holds that in place, it also acts as a cushion. And believe me, that little thing works. Chevy makes them all for theirs also. What it does is when you put it in reverse and drive, it's supposed to act as a cushion so you don't feel it as much and keep the case from cracking. And actually, that little thing does a great job. Believe it or not, it does. Alrighty. Now we've got on top of your center support, also in these, you've got your planetary system. And these are always good. It's always good. This is your one-way roller clutch, and it is fine. They're always, most of the time, they're fine. And this is your reverse band, which I already told you that it gets replaced anyway. It's got a little bit of burntness on it, mostly metal inside of it, and it's worn out thin. So we'll get you a nice thicker one to put back in there. Get your reverse working a little better, or a lot better. This is your direct drum. This comes on in third gear. Direct drum hub, clutch hub, which is always good. Your bearings, and it's got a shim right there. Never go bad. I don't want to say never go bad because I've seen them bad, but I mean, it's really, really, really rare that it does. The bottom of it, back side of it, you've got a bearing. And this is your clutches and steels to that drum. They're going to be coming in your clutch or your kit, your clutches and your steels. You see that's pretty burnt. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary yet. So all that metal definitely come from the valve body. Unless I see something back here, I'm not expecting to. Usually this output shaft and ring gear is fine. Here's another snap ring that keeps everything in line. This is your output ring gear and shaft. And you see these cylinder rings right there? That gets applied to that hole. Oil applies that and has your direct clutches come on, because that sits right inside there. And there's some cylinder rings there that get replaced also. Let's check this case. And I can feel with my fingers that it's fine, but I'm going to show you too. You see what I'm kind of talking about. Right in here, that's where that shaft rides. Okay? Every great once in a while, those cylinder rings, when they're really worn out, they come apart, and it causes it to make big grooves in here. Well, in turn, what that does is it ruins your case. They used to make a sleeve for it. They still do. But it's actually cheaper and better just to get another case than it is a sleeve. The sleeve and the case anymore is about the same price. But that's not the case here. You don't need anything. Everything's fine there. Alrighty. That's everything there is to show on this. If you have any questions, just send me a text or anything, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The next time you'll be hearing from me is probably Monday. I'll get the parts ordered. Hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday, around there, I should get my parts. Like I said, I don't see anything out of the ordinary, so I don't see my parts getting delayed, really, because all you're going to need here is your kit, both bands, filter, torque converter, and I believe that's it. There's nothing else, like I said, that's out of the ordinary. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll get this uploaded, and it takes some time to do that. So get it uploaded, and hopefully you enjoy this video. You take care.